I still remember the first time I received the curse chain email, a seemingly innocuous message that arrived in my inbox at exactly 2:17 a.m. Its subject line a single, chilling phrase: "Break the chain, or suffer the curse." At first, I dismissed it as a typical spam message, a digital relic of a bygone era when chain emails ruled the internet. But that night, as I sat alone in my dimly lit apartment in suburban Ohio, something about the email sent shivers down my spine that I couldn't ignore. The email itself was sparse. A few hastily typed sentences warning that if I did not forward it to 10 friends within 24 hours, a dire fate awaited me. I clicked through it, and as I read the cryptic instructions, I felt an inexplicable pressure, as though the very words were laced with a malevolent intent that seeped into my consciousness. That night, I tossed the email aside in a moment of fleeting rationality, but the next morning, I awoke to a series of strange events. My computer inexplicably restarted multiple times, my phone buzzed with identical messages from unknown numbers, and I began noticing a pattern of inexplicable disappearances among my acquaintances. A co-worker who never showed up for work, a neighbor who vanished without a trace, and even old friends who had long since lost contact, now sending desperate, cryptic texts hinting that they too were caught in the web of a curse. As the days turned into a waking nightmare, every attempt to rid myself of the cursed message only seemed to strengthen its grip. No matter how many times I deleted the email, it reappeared in my inbox with a fresh timestamp, accompanied by subtle alterations in its text that made it all the more personal, as if it were tracking my every move. Determined to break the cycle, I began scouring online forums and dark corners of the internet for any trace of this digital curse, and to my horror, I found countless accounts of people whose lives had been irreparably shattered by this very chain email, a cursed legacy that had persisted for years, transcending generations and blurring the line between digital folklore and a malevolent reality. Late one stormy evening, when the wind howled like the voices of the damned and the rain battered my window with relentless fury, I resolved to confront the curse head-on. Armed with a high-powered laptop and a determination born of sheer desperation, I composed a video log detailing every strange occurrence, the unexplained glitches in my devices, the eerie messages from unknown senders, and the uncanny reappearances of the cursed email, despite my best efforts to purge it. As I recorded my confession in a trembling, hushed tone for my YouTube channel, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, not by an unseen hacker or an overactive imagination, but by something far more sinister. My heart pounded as I described how the curse seemed to evolve with each passing day. The email's text morphed into an ever more personalized manifesto of doom, referencing details of my life that no one outside my inner circle could possibly know. Then, one fateful night, as I sat at my desk battling the oppressive weight of dread, the screen flickered and I was confronted by a new message embedded within the email, a final, blood-curdling line that read, "Your fate is sealed, and the chain is unbroken." In that moment, a deep, unearthly chill coursed through me, as though invisible fingers were tightening around my very soul. The lights dimmed, and the silence in my apartment became a cacophony of whispered warnings and distant, sorrowful cries. I felt an overwhelming compulsion to forward the email, a desperate, primal urge to break the curse by perpetuating it to others, even though every instinct screamed that doing so would doom me further. In a moment of agonizing indecision, I hesitated, and that hesitation proved to be my undoing. Over the next few days, inexplicable misfortunes began to plague me with increasing intensity. Mysterious figures lurked in the shadows of my peripheral vision. My dreams turned into a labyrinth of endless corridors and accusatory voices, and every digital device I touched seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, as if the curse had infected the very fabric of my existence. Friends reached out in panic, reporting bizarre coincidences and eerie encounters, each account echoing the same relentless refrain, a warning that the chain, once broken, would unleash a torrent of retribution upon the one who failed to heed its call. Desperate to understand the nature of this curse, I sought the help of a local paranormal researcher known for his expertise in digital hauntings and ancient curses woven into modern technology. His eyes grew wide with horror as he explained that the chain email was not merely a piece of malicious code, but an artifact of a forgotten ritual, a digital conduit for a vengeful spirit whose essence had been trapped in cyberspace by a cult of early internet pioneers. They had believed that fear, when harnessed correctly, could transcend mortality, and in their hubris, they had inadvertently bound an entity to the endless cycle of emails, a cycle that fed on the terror and despair of its victims. With his guidance, I attempted to sever the connection, following arcane instructions that involved sending a final message to a list of contacts using a specific sequence of characters, all while chanting a prayer to appease the restless spirit. But the curse was far too insidious. The moment I hesitated, the air in my room grew frigid, and the monitors flickered with a ghastly montage of images, snippets of my past intertwined with disturbing visions of suffering and decay, as if the entity were reliving its tormented existence through me. In that surreal, heart-stopping moment, I realized that the curse was not something that could be exorcised by simple acts of defiance or modern technology. It was a part of me now, woven into the very strands of my digital identity, a perpetual reminder that some horrors are eternal and inescapable. Now, as I sit in the bleak isolation of my apartment, the cursed email still haunting my inbox with its malevolent persistence, I document these events in a trembling, raw confession for my channel, a desperate plea for anyone who might understand the terrible truth that our digital lives are not as separate from the supernatural as we like to believe. I leave you with this lingering question, one that has become an inescapable part of my daily torment. Have you ever received a message that defied logic and expectation, a warning that chilled you to the core? And if so, did you dare to break the chain, or did the curse take hold of your soul as it has mine?